Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place where we sort through the noise to find those key insights for you.
That's the goal.
And today, we're digging into a really interesting piece by Brent Zeman called The Transformative Power of Mindset, a journey from scarcity to abundance. Ever wondered, why some people just seem to attract success while others feel like they're constantly hitting roadblocks?
It's a common question, isn't it?
Totally. Well, we're going to explore the maybe surprising role your mindset plays in all that based on Zeman's work.
Yeah, and Zeman starts off strong. He suggests that the real gap between, let's say, affluence and poverty isn't just about cash.
Not just the bank account.
Nope. It's more fundamental. It's about how you think. He basically lays out these two mindsets, right?
Okay.
One is geared towards seeing opportunity, really valuing time, pushing for growth. And the other, well, it tends to prioritize safety, avoids discomfort, and looks for that instant win.
Okay, so let's unpack that foundation idea. Mindset as the bedrock. Zeman uses this great analogy, something about fertile soil.
Exactly, the fertile soil of the mind. He argues that wealth kind of germinates from there.
It makes you think, doesn't it? It's not just the external stuff, the money, but the internal landscape, our beliefs, the questions we ask ourselves. That's what shapes things.
Precisely. It sets the stage. And then, if you look at how these two mindsets handle, say, challenges, it's night and day.
How so?
Well, Zeman calls one the rich mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It sees obstacles almost like gateways. The first thought is, okay, how can I solve this? It's proactive,
Right.
hopeful even.
Right. Solution focus.
Yeah. Whereas the poor mindset, as he terms it, tends to look for safety first. It builds barriers, tries to protect itself.
Which can lead to just staying put, stagnation.
That's the risk. Stagnation, maybe even despair, because you're not moving forward.
I can see that. Like, imagine someone loses their job.
Okay.
The opportunity mindset might immediately think, right, who can I call? What skills can I brush up on? Maybe this is a chance to pivot.
Seeing the opening within the setback.
Exactly. But the safety mindset might just fixate on the lost income, the fear. And that fear can kind of paralyze you, make it harder to see any new doors opening.
That's a great illustration. And what Zeman really zeroes in on is the power of the questions we ask. This is fascinating.
The internal dialogue.
Yeah. So instead of thinking, I can't afford this, which is just a dead end, right?
It totally shuts it down.
The growth mindset asks, okay, how could I make this possible? It's a subtle shift, but it unlocks everything.
It moves from a statement of limitation to a question of possibility.
You got it.
Yeah.
It opens up creative thinking, makes you look for solutions you wouldn't have even considered otherwise.
That's a powerful aha
Yeah,
moment right there. And it links directly to what Zeman says about resourcefulness, doesn't it?
absolutely. He argues that real wealth often comes less from having tons of resources initially and more from being resourceful with whatever you have.
Ingenuity over sheer quantity.
Yes. And think about how they invest. The growth mindset asks, where can I plant this seed now for a future harvest? Looking for enduring benefits.
Long-term thinking.
Right. While the other mindset might be more drawn to immediate desires, spending on things that, frankly, lose value quickly, like maybe investing time in learning a new skill versus buying the latest gadget that's outdated in 6 months.
One builds capacity, the other is fleeting. Makes sense.
And speaking of resources, Zeman puts a huge emphasis on time.
Oh, definitely. Time is seen as the ultimate non-renewable resource in the rich mindset. Irreplaceable.
And he distinguishes between just being busy and being truly productive.
Crucial distinction. The idea is, the growth mindset focuses on building systems, things that can run effectively without you constantly having to be hands-on.
To free up your time.
Exactly. To free up your time for higher level thinking, strategic planning, stuff like that. It's about leverage.
Whereas the other mindset might confuse activity with progress.
Yeah, they might be super busy trading hours for dollars, but not actually building anything sustainable. They might believe, if I want it done right, I have to do it myself.
Which sounds like a recipe for burnout. Totally. It limits your capacity significantly. You can't scale yourself indefinitely.
So it's about working smarter through systems. And that often involves doing things that aren't, comfortable.
That's another key point from Zeman. Growth almost always requires stepping outside your comfort zone.
Leaning into discomfort.
Right. The opportunity-focused mindset sees challenges not just as problems, but as that fertile ground for growth we mentioned. It's willing to face the unease.
While the safety-focused mindset instinctively pulls back from anything difficult or unfamiliar.
Precisely. Avoidance becomes the pattern. But if you always avoid the uncomfortable, you just stay where you are. You don't learn, you don't expand.
It's like That initial struggle, maybe learning something new, feels tough, but it's what leads to mastery or progress later.
Absolutely. That initial discomfort is often the price of admission for significant growth.
Then Zeman takes it a step further, talking about shifting from just, surviving day to day to thinking about legacy, a longer-term view.
Yeah, the rich mindset is thinking generations ahead, perhaps. What impact can I create? What can I build that lasts?
Versus the poor mindset being more caught up in immediate needs, immediate fears.
Often, yes. And that focus on the immediate can unintentionally perpetuate the cycle of scarcity because you're not making those investments, time, energy, resources that pay off down the road.
It's hard to think about legacy when you're worried about next week's bills.
It is, absolutely. But Zeman suggests that cultivating that longer-term perspective, even in small ways, can start to shift things. It changes the choices you make today.
And building that legacy, or just building wealth in general, comes back to those systems again, right?
It really does. He emphasizes that wealth is built on leverage, on systems that produce results without your constant direct effort being the bottleneck.
So the question becomes, how can this operate without me?
Exactly. How can this scale? How can it be sustainable? That's the focus.
Compared to the belief that I have to do everything myself.
Which, again, limits growth and often leads straight to exhaustion. It's just not a sustainable model for building something significant.
And finally, he ties it all together with language, the words we use.
Yes, this is so insightful. He points out how our wooed choices really betray our underlying mindset.
Like the difference between how can I and I cannot.
Such a critical difference. How can I is expansive. It opens doors, sparks creativity, assumes possibility.
Well, I cannot just slams the door shut.
Instantly. It's a definitive statement that halts progress before it even starts. It reflects that internal narrative, one that fosters growth or one that stifles it.
Wow. So wrapping it all up, Zeman's message seems to be fundamentally about choice.
Very much so. The choice of mindset is internal, he argues, and that choice dictates your path.
So the call to action is choose growth, embrace the discomfort, ask better questions, build those systems.
That's the essence of it. He warns against getting trapped by the allure of comfort and safety, because that's often where potential goes to die.
And he ends with that really powerful line.
Your mindset will either fund your freedom or finance your failure. The choice is yours.
Chilling, almost, but empowering, too. It puts the reins back in your hands.
It really does. It's a compelling framework for understanding how much our internal world shapes our external reality. That focus on agency, on choice, it's huge.
Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us into the transformative power of mindset, drawing on Brent Zeman's insights.
My pleasure. Hopefully it sparks some thoughts.
We certainly hope so. We hope you found this valuable. And now, maybe take a moment to consider how these ideas resonate with you. Where might a small shift in your own thinking open up new possibilities?
Yeah, what's just one tiny change in perspective you could make today?
What could that ripple effect look like down the line? Something to think about.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for listening to the deep dive today.
Thanks, everyone.
And hey, if you enjoyed exploring these ideas and want more discussions like this, please do like and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you back for our next deep dive.